All right, racing fans, we're back in Gallop Racer. I want to apologize. I was playing the game and I thought I was recording and I was not. So we bred a horse. Her name is Crazy Bish. She is a daughter of Dry Love and Crazy Expert. You can see we've got some unlocked, ununlocked, unrevealed abilities. Dirt horse, 8 to 12 furlongs, fast growth type, and a almost the best interval. So yeah, a lot of speed. Taking a look at the races we have run up to this point. We start off with the Dublin Filly Stakes, which I won and set a course record. Liquor Stakes, course record. Philly Cup. Sunrise Stakes and LA Oaks. But I realized after the Philly Stakes, based on the reveal of the horse card, that this was not a turf horse. So we raced those couple of turf races, but I don't anticipate racing any more of them. I was actually trying to breed a turf horse, but well, that is what it is. All right, so we're going to look at this Queen of NA title, Louisville Oaks Griffin Stakes, Virgo Stakes, New York Oaks World Cup Distaff. That is going to be the key unlock we try to do with this horse. Simply because we're going to have one racing season. So here the races are all loaded except for the last one. We loaded the Spica Stakes because we're going to need one race in between the Oaks and the last stake, the last race to unlock that horse title, simply because of the interval between the last two races. So I don't care if I win the Spica Stakes or not, but the other ones I really do want to win. And I apologize for the delay in the upload. A new game came out that I've been enjoying called Ready or Not, although not totally enjoying because I accidentally didn't buy the deluxe version. They wouldn't let me upgrade it in the Microsoft Store, so I'm kind of unhappy about that. Had I realized it was still available with the pre-order bonus, I would have ordered it, you know. But they wouldn't let me refund it because I already played it, and they wouldn't let me upgrade it because that's not available right now. So maybe 2 or 3 years from now, they'll let me upgrade it for half the price they could get right now. Anyway, all right, we're here in probably Churchill Downs for the Louisville Oaks, aka the Kentucky Oaks. And we're going to take a look at the field. In some of these races, I was looking for the horses that run really weird, and then I forgot I was looking for it. So I probably missed it. But yeah, there was a horse that in the preliminary thing that ran really weird last race. So anyway, never mind about all that.
And they're off.
All right, pretty good start here. And then we're going to let everybody else take the lead, and we are going to go over towards the rail. I'm definitely a fan, as you have guessed by now after watching these episodes regularly, a fan of taking the rail in just about every kind of race except for one with a rough. And although I've had horses that I think had rough okay and ran in the rough, it didn't trigger it. So anyway, we're overheating here. This horse generally wasn't hard to control. So the next episode, boy, that horse did not want to behave itself.
Down the back stretch.
A lot more, let's put it this way. This horse is relatively easy to race because it developed right away. The next horse is kind of a pain in the butt. You'll see that next episode. I'm not sure if I'm going to break it up or not, but it is a 2-hour-long-ish episode. All right, 2.4 furlongs. We're about to get to the whip here in a second.
2 furlongs to go.
And we're going to sort of go to the front. And we've got to really dig down with the reins and go back to the whip a little bit before we can pull away to victory. All right, great job, horse.
We have a winner.
All right, another horse, another race, I mean. Course record. And that was a pretty okay race. I think we already have the G1 Hunter title under our belt, by the way, because we won our first 5 races at Grade 5. prior to this video starting. All right, we're just going to continue on with the racing card. I'm monitoring my speed and also the unrevealed skills, I guess, of the horse. But as you can see, we've already hit our peak and we're on our way down, so we've really got to maximize our racing in this year. Let's go ahead and add that last race. I must already remember the name of it, the World Cup Distaff. We are going to add that in there, and that is our racing card for the rest of this year at this point. I need to win all those races except for the Speaker Stakes to unlock the Queen of North America horse title, which presumably will result in felicitations, salutations, and various gifts, or the unlocking of additional races and horse titles. All right, we're going to get our exacta in for the Griffin Stakes. I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited. I may be moving for work, possibly to Kentucky, or at the very least a state where gambling on horse racing is legal. Not that I advise everybody gamble, but for those of us who don't mind playing the ponies, it's going to be delightful to get back to that after probably 3 years of not being able to do it. So we spend a little bit of money on that racing form.
The horses are on the
All right.
And away they
And there's
go.
a pretty good start. For those of you who don't know what the racing form is, if you are only familiar with horse racing from video games, they have it on the internet now, and they have it on your phone or whatever, but back in ye olden days, it was a sheet of paper, or multiple sheets of paper, that had the past performances of every horse in every race racing at the track that day. So race number 1, you know, there's 6 horses in it. They'll have a little thing about each horse, how it finished in each of the previous races it ran,
Okay,
if
this
it's
is
ever
where the
ran at
race
that
is
distance
won.
before, who the mommy and daddy are, because in this horse racing, breeding matters. Stuff like that, all sorts of info, who the jockey is, who the trainer is, how much money the horses won, all that good stuff, so you can make a decision about if you want to bet.
Longs to go.
Basically, you just look at all that stuff and analyze who's going to win each race. That's called handicapping.
An amazing
All right, speaking of
personal speed.
handicapping, we are handicapped to win this race. We did win this race very easily in New York. And we are on our way to getting that
We
horse
have
title.
a winner.
Something
You placed the
unlocked,
horse title
Dirt
race.
Champ. I think that's 5 wins at Special G1 Dirt. Because we had 2 turf races mixed in there. So after our next win, we will unlock that as well. And I have to tell you, if you're interested in this game, I just found out today, there's an emulation for the PC, so you do not have to own a PlayStation 2 to play it. So I can't direct you to where the emulation is, but I will try to look that back up and find it and put it in the comments. And I've also heard rumors that they may be coming out with a modern version of a horse racing game, but that is just an internet rumor from Reddit, which means it's worth virtually nothing other than the time it took to read it. All right, we are a heavy favorite in this one, even though the weather is not so great. For the Virgo Stakes, it's not just a constellation, folks, or an astrological sign. Is Virgo a constellation? I may have got over my skis there. Let's ask the internet. Is Virgo a
horses are on the track.
constellation? I think it is. Of course it is. It is a large constellation. The second largest constellation overall, and contains the bright star Spica. Spica 6. Look at that. They're all related. All right, we're going to fight our way to the rail. I may have brushed another horse's nose with my horse's rear end.
Hey, what are you doing?
It's a view they better get used to. This is disconcerting. I see a wall. of horses in front of me. Usually there's an avenue to slip through. This should have been a warning sign to me to move out and to get out from behind this wall of horses. I was hoping someone would move up and someone else would move over.
They're midway down the
I
back
don't
stretch.
think it happens here. The little race chart is a little
Looking
deceiving.
good.
We triggered a slow, okay, one of our 2 special abilities. But look at this wall of horses. I need to be moving outside right now. And I am just not doing it, folks. What can I say? Asleep at the wheel, asleep at the joystick, asleep at the hands of my controller.
To go.
And now I'm going to try to force my way in. I waited way too long. We're going to trigger our second special ability and run right into the horse in front of us.
Show your guts.
We do not have enough time. We are going to finish second by maybe
My
half a length or
goodness, they lost
a
their
neck.
chance at that time.
So we're going to have to replay that. I waited way too long to whip. Utterly disappointing on my part. Half a length behind. Close enough. All right, so we're going to replay that. Yeah, so I'm excited about getting back to horse racing territory, or at least where it's legal. And I'm going to try to go to maybe not Churchill Downs. I'm not saying I'll never go there, but initially I think I would like to go to a smaller track first. You know, just as an example, I've been to Fenway Park, I've been to Wrigley Field, I've been to Safeco Field, or whatever the Mariners Stadium is called now. I've been to
And they're off.
the one in Colorado. You know, and I have to say I really prefer minor league baseball. It's a little less expensive and a little more fun. And the kids are out there just trying hard. There's no $1 million crybabies. So yeah, I'm hoping to get into that. I think Louisville has a minor league team of the Cardinals, maybe. Of course, if I'm near Cincinnati, I could go see the Reds, or I could go see the Indians, not the Guardians. I'm sorry, you can't erase history, not to mention the history of one of the greatest movies of all time, called Major League.
They're midway down
Speaking
the
of
back
movies, there are a
stretch.
lot of great horse racing movies.
Looking good.
I think there's Seabiscuit, and Secretariat, and War whatever, and certainly entertaining. All right, we triggered slow okay again. This time we have a clear path to the finish. Even though we are in the blue, we are not going to be posed a threat to.
Go.
The 3 goes, and I will go with him and leave him behind. And the 6 is going to try to come up, but he is not closing any ground really. And that is the end of the race.
We have a winner.
All right, look at that.
Yes.
Spectacular. Horse title earned, dirt champ. And I will set the course record. Thank you very much. We didn't trigger our other special ability. That's okay. And our next race is the New York Oaks. We're going to go right to that. And again, they put us on the outside, but we are an overwhelming favorite. So we'll get our exacta in, the 8-9 exacta for 900 here on the dirt in New York. I don't know, probably the Belmont. I guess they're rebuilding the Belmont. Belmont Aqueduct. One of them is getting rebuilt. Looks pretty wild. I may have mentioned that in a previous video. I think it's the Belmont. The Belmont track, maybe. New York State Horse Racing Tracks. Blah, 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 blah.
The horses are on the track.
Yeah, Belmont Park. I think it's being
They're
rebuilt.
off. Oh, it's
All right, I guess I should pay attention to the race. We're moving over again. As you can see, we're not in a hurry. Yep, it is being rebuilt right now, I believe. One day ago, it said, by the time you're reading this article, the inner turf will be completed at Belmont Park. Look at that. All right, here's the same wall of horses. Although there looks like between those two tan horses, there's room to slip through. But yeah, I'm very aware that I could be held back again by a wall of horses. So slow OK triggers again. We're going to kind of force our way, barge our way in here. Aren't we going to barge our way in here? I swear I was going to force my way through there. Alright, I guess I'm really... Alright, here we go. I am going to force my way through there, maybe just not the way people want it. Alright, we go to the whip. We can't because we're right behind another horse. We bump into the horse next to us. To the whip again. My horse goes crazy and just stops running. So we're going to replay this race again. And you would think I would have learned the lesson the first time, but apparently not. And I'm going to break my own rule here. I know we're not supposed to... am I doing it twice in a row? No, I'm not. All right. Well, I mean, the same thing happened at that race that happened in the last one. Maybe it has something to do with the race course. What's happening, Belmont Park? Why are you creating walls of horses? This is like going 4 wide in NASCAR. You're not supposed to do that. All right, the Belmont rebuild is supposed to be completed by September of 2026. If you are in New York.
The horses are on the track.
Oh, well then there's ads about Maximum Security's children. Well, very exciting. The inner course circumference went from 1 3/16 miles to 1 1/8 mile, and the Widener course went from 1 5/16 miles to 1 1/4 miles. So it looks like they standardized them. And they're comparing the old turns to Saratoga. They have banking of the tracks, 2%, 4% on the outer track. So it is kind of like NASCAR in some respects. Of course, they have to have banking too for water runoff. All right, look, it's the same thing again. What am I doing? I'm going to the outside. All right, I'm not playing around now. Had to replay a couple races in a row that I didn't need to replay either of them because I clearly have the superior horse in this race. Although I found as time went on, it got harder to keep this horse in the green and easier to keep it in the blue. So I had to start running up from farther back, which in theory this horse shouldn't be doing like that. Rear leg horses do that. This horse shouldn't be doing that. And as a result, I'm not getting any of the revolutions for this horse. But on the flip side, by going to the outside, we are now in the lead. And the other horse is going to try to come up, and we're just going to go to the whip and leave them behind.
An amazing burst of speed.
And then we're going to pull in front of everybody and say, kiss my rear end.
Excellent.
All right, another win for the Crazy Bish.
We have a winner.
All right, horse title reached. Queen of North America. Now remember the Spica Stakes, which is a star in the constellation that we were just talking about, is next. Very ironic that that's the name. I think that can't be a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're out of energy. So here's what you do if you're worried about your horse having the energy to compete in the races you're registered for. Go back into your registration and cancel your registration. Now remember, you can't scratch out of a race once you go to the start of the race, but you can cancel out of your registration and then go re-enter the races, and it'll give you a much better picture of how good your endurance is at that point. And so you can see here, we're in the blue for the Spica Stakes, and that means we're going to be in the blue for the final race here, the World Cup Distaff. All right, so fear not. That's just a way you can check your energy. By the way, the episode today will run about 41 minutes and 8 seconds. Give or take a half a second. Just letting you know. All right, so here in the Speak Stakes, which is a star in the Milky Way. Now I am curious about the star called Spica. It is the largest object in the constellation of Virgo and one of the 20 brightest stars in the night sky. Something called the Bayer designation. It is located 250 plus or minus 10 light years from the sun. So essentially a really long ways away.
The horses are on the track.
All right. Not a great start, but not terrible. Let me see if there's anything else about the star. Blah, blah, blah. Huh. Okay. It has different names in different languages, obviously, that's funny. As one of the nearest massive binary star systems to the Sun, Spica has been the subject of many observational studies. It is believed to be the star that gave Hipparchus the idea that led him to discover the precession of equinoxes. I'm going to pretend I know what that is. Hipparchus was a Greek astronomer, geographer, and mathematician. In other words, he was a guy with way too much time on his hands and not enough horse racing. Speaking of horse racing, Slow OK triggered again here in this race. We are a little over speed, but we are taking the lead, trying to keep it in the green so we can get the revolutions. We're not going to get the revolutions, but what we can get is the whip here at about 1.6. And the 5 was going to come up and try to mess with us, and now the 5 is falling behind.
Excellent.
As we cruise to victory. All right, look at that. A little bit of horse racing, a little bit of astrology.
We have a
And
winner.
that would have been a surprise to both of us at the start of this. All right, we are going for that horse title next. The Queen of North America. After a crushing victory in the Spica Stakes, we got a little bit of coin out of it. And then we're going to go back here into the paddock for the World Cup distaff. Let's see where the World Cup is this year, everybody. I spend half the time looking at the screen anyway. 2026 horse racing. All right. Well, there's one in Dubai. Let me add in North America. Great, they're not going to tell me. All right, World Cup distaff, 9 furlongs out of probably Del Mar. All right, there are the horses. My computer will not cooperate to let me look back at the window. All right, the Breeders' Cup. And that's Keeneland as host sites for 2026 to 2027. Breeders' Cup. Oh, and also Belmont Park. So probably Keeneland next year and Belmont Park the year after that. Keeneland is also undergoing a renovation. So maybe I'll go to the Breeders' Cup next year. That'd be awesome. Belmont, $455 million to build the new track. Good grief. Or to rebuild the track. That's a lot of money. All right. We are overheating. That's not good. We're trying to get into the green. This horse likes to run in the blue. I just didn't like to accept that because it seemed like we were really far back. But I think I should have realized it sooner. We got a nice path just to our right to go right in between the front two horses.
Watch out.
Oop, my controller got a little sticky. I think I need to take apart my controllers and clean them, to be honest.
furlongs to go.
All right, this guy
Watch
tried to
out.
come up and run into
Show
me,
your guts.
but we're going to use that to push away and take off from the rest of the
An
field.
amazing burst of
We are
speed.
dominating. They are falling back. We are unchallenged. Welcome to the Queen of North America, this crazy bish.
We have a winner. Yes, horse title.
All right, there it is, the horse title. And a course record, 9 furlong victory. Awesome. All right, 3 titles were added to the special step category. Let's go look at those. They added Turf Emperor, which doesn't mean anything to us, 3 years at the Universal Cup. Dirt Emperor, 3 years at the Paris Cup. And Gallop Emperor, which is 3 wins at each one. I think the Universal Cup is turf and the other one is dirt, so you got to be good at both, of course. I say that now after they were both explained that they were dirt and turf. I feel like an idiot. All right, so what's left out there for our horse? Well, I don't know, because we've got Dirt Champ already, and the other stuff that we would compete in as a female horse requires turf skill, or it requires a male horse. So we really can't compete for these turf races, even though we did win 2 and win them right in the beginning. I don't think it would be a good idea. Here, looking at the complete horse card, 93 speed, 96 tenacity, 90 courage. We're on the downslope, 8 to 12 furlongs, specializing in dry dirt, fast growth type, and the open circle interval, which is the second best, or very good if you want to consider it that way. Empress Stakes requires turf, and we don't really run on turf very well. So I think I may end up running in the Independence Cup, which is a specialty race right above us there. 10.5 furlongs on the dirt, and we're going to enter that race to see what we can do here. I'm presuming we'll do fine because we've been racing in the special category. Now coming back to the regular category, it is a step down in competition, so we're going to be fine. And we're going to get our bet in. And we're going to do a 13-1 exacta, like we always do for 900. And the red line behind the grade 1 means it is a Gallop World Series race, so it counts for points in the Gallop World Series. Someday I will breed a horse good enough to compete in the Gallop World Series. These horses are not good enough. I'm just telling you that right now. They're not. They look good. I love them. They race fine. They're not talented enough. We don't have enough talented horses to race in the Field of Legend and win. We don't. There are better horses out there to be had, and we will breed them over time. All right, pretty good start there.
And they're off.
That guy's jersey looked that guy's silks looked like Charlie Brown for a minute. Wrong colors, but it reminded me of Charlie Brown. All right, we go straight to the rail. You know, to be honest, folks, I think in real live horse racing, most jockeys don't like the rail. They don't like the rail because, like, see where the horse ahead of us is running? That's usually where the horses run. They don't run right up on the rail like I do, because that dirt isn't compacted the same way as the dirt out in the middle of the track where horses have been running for days and days and days is. So I have a feeling most jockeys don't like right up on the rail. They like a little bit off the rail because that's where the dirt is most compact. So what you see here in this game doesn't necessarily reflect reality when it comes to the strategy choices I make of racing. That being said, you know, this stuff where the horses are moving out, I don't think it's that bad either, because I don't think the horses are this bunched up all the time in most races. But I have seen horses out in the middle of the racetrack
in the
all
home
along.
stretch.
So. All right, we triggered spurt. We are going to go right to the front. Good grief, that is a really nice skill, and I wish it would have triggered more often.
Wow,
I think the
speed.
advanced version of it is called long spurt.
Excellent.
But anyway, we left everybody in the dust thanks to spurt being triggered.
Incredible. No one.
By
can
the way,
match you.
totally off topic. We were talking about stars, so maybe not totally off topic. Have you seen the new ad that company Astronomer put out today? Or the other day? Astronomer is the company where the CEO was cheating with the head of HR on Kiss Cam at a Coldplay concert. That's the company they work for. And I guess they do something with Adobe's, kind of Adobe process or something. Anyway, they put out an ad today with Gwyneth Paltrow, the ex-wife of Coldplay's singer, as the spokesperson. So it's very funny, I thought, because I'm a juvenile person. All right, anyway, check that out if you can find it on the internets. Anyway, Tokyo Cup is going to be the last race of the year. Have not raced this horse in Tokyo yet because they've been racing in Europe, because Europe is better racing, at least in terms of how this game is set up. As you can see, we are the favorite, and we are going to go get it done out here in Tokyo. Who sings a song about... Is it Billy Joel? I keep imagining someone sang a song in the 80s that had the word Tokyo in the title. Now we're going to go back to the internet again. Songs with Tokyo in the title. I don't think these are any of these are correct. Was it Eddie Money?
The horses are on the track.
Deep Purple. My Woman from Tokyo. That's what it's from, the 70s.
And
I
they're
better stop
off.
talking. All right, we started the race here in Tokyo along with Deep Purple. And although my horse is not from Tokyo, it is running a race in Tokyo. And that's going to have to do for now. And we're overheating a little bit. I've complained that this horse is comfortable running in the blue and not the green. And I find that a little bit... Not gonna lie. Here we're kind of maneuvering in the pack, trying to find a little bit of room. See, you know what happened? In retrospect, I'm seeing it now. I was getting caught up in trying to unlock the revolutions when I should have just been riding the horse. And instead I'm trying to achieve a specific outcome. And as a result, I'm not riding the horse the right way. That's what's happening here. So don't get caught up in that if you're playing this game.
2 furlongs to go.
All right, we cruised to the lead, and that horse tried to come over and cut me off. Someone cut you off, jerk. And we won anyway. So stick that in
We
your
have a
corncob
winner.
pipe and smoke it. All right, I bet you there's not even going to be an inquiry. Nope, there wasn't an inquiry because that guy knew he was wrong. Try to come over and cut me off. That's my move. What are you thinking? The only person who cuts me off is me. All right, we did finish 5th in the Gallup World Series because we won a race on the dirt in the Gallup World Series. That Independence Stakes or Cup or whatever it was, but we are not racing those races yet. Anyway, we ended up as the best 3-year-old filly. How we did not win the special dirt, I don't know. but we did not. A horse named Wonder Whale, which did really awesome allegedly this year, ended up doing that. All right, look at the horse card. We've unlocked both of those special abilities. Are we going to race another race? I really don't know. I'm leaning towards no, simply because there's nothing else I can unlock. And at this point, I think we're racing to unlock stuff in order to get all the races unlocked to be able to complete these horse titles. And if it can't unlock something, I'm not sure I want to do it. And we talked about how you need turf and dirt for these ones down at the bottom here. And we don't have that. And all this stuff here, yep, that requires racing in Japan for like 8 seasons. You gotta have a very strong horse to do that. We don't have enough turf power to win that. We're definitely not going to do that. Look at all those dirt races you could win if you wanted to win the Japan G1 Sweeper. I would say that would be great for a male horse who was really good at dirt. Perfect. Again, a ridiculous list of races that means you have to have 6 to like 16 distance and excellent stamina to complete that. I think I have completed that in the past with another horse on a different playthrough. But yeah, I'm just not sure there's any race here that is going to attract my attention enough to get me to not retire. Kyoto Queen Cup is a grade 2. February Stakes we could run in maybe. I'll tell you what, we'll run until we definitively lose a race. How about that? Our skills are fading. We're racing against boys in this race, so if we've lost the plot, we will know it. All right, and it's snowing in February in Maryland, and we've got snow on the track, and it's probably cold, yucky dirt. Although we are the favorite. In the February Stakes. Still don't see any horse really running weird. It's hard to explain.
The horses
I
are
swear, some of the horses in this race run with like their nose up above their neck.
And away they go.
It doesn't make any sense to talk about it without seeing it. All right, we're off in the cold. I don't really think anyone races in this kind of weather anymore, really, except for maybe at Mountaineer or something. Maybe in West Virginia. All right, we got the rail. We've got one part of the Revolutions. And we're running in the blue.
Okay,
I
this is where the
still
race
have
is
not
won.
conceded to myself that that's how this horse likes to run. And we're not going to get the Revolution, so I need to go to the whip at
They're in the home
2.4.
stretch.
We go to the whip. We go to
furlongs to go.
what I thought was going to be the front. And we're not going to win this race. My special ability didn't trigger. We were going to legitimately
Oh,
lose
they've reached their limit.
the February
Finish.
Stakes and finish third. There was no sandbagging. I was trying to win that race. But we legitimately lost to Odd Trigger. It says overpace. I don't think it made that much of a difference, really. I don't. The other horse were just better. Now, we do have a 92 for speed. I probably could still keep going. If they had more dirt races against only women horses, only fillies and mares, I would keep going, but they don't. At least not at this point. So I'm going to retire. We have one star that was new, the Queen of North America, and we'll take it. We got 3 total horse titles, and we unlocked a secret horse package, and that has been the career of Crazy Bish. Anyway, the video is going to end soon. I don't know if we're going to go in the barn and take a look at our title or breeding card, but thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. I do have another horse I could race that I bred right before her called Inscribe. That's the subject of our next video. See you then.